Worldwide Entertainment TV, where urban media culture lives across cities and different countries with real stories.
So, what made you decide to get into acting?
Oh my gosh. I don't I think it started with my love of cinema.
Yeah,
Even as a child, I grew up watching, you know, old movies like Ben-Hur and The Ten Commandments and just movies that really exemplify cinema, just the beauty of filmmaking, right? And so I used to just love movies. And so when I went to college, I got involved in theater. And, when I started doing theater shows, that's when I felt the love in my heart for it. I said, "I just love this." I love to create art. I love to be part of the experience and, to express myself in that way. And so I was bitten by the acting bug in college. So, yeah.
so could you tell us how you got your first acting gig?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, I think the first job that I did was a music video actually for it was like an Ethiopian group, very popular Ethiopian group, and they wanted African girls. And it was the first job that I ever did. And they didn't even speak English or anything. And I went and it was great. And so that was the first time I ever did like a video. And then my first acting job was for an independent film that I starred in. And I played a butch lesbian, and so it was really, interesting because I went down to the audition and I just kinda dressed the part and, kinda put myself in that mold, and I got the part, and it was just amazing. I think the film was called The Internship Games, so it was
Yeah.
by Baja Films. It was an independent film that came out in 2015 or 2016, I think, and, ever since then, it's just been great. I've been doing a lot of, commercial work, uh once you get on the commercials, it's like you just start doing all these commercials. But, I started doing that, and then I did a lot of modeling, and, I just recently did, I don't know if you know Baby Keem, he's a Grammy nominated, rap artist.
Yeah.
I just did, his album trailer, so that was pretty cool.
So,
So, yeah, it's been pretty nice.
so are you a hip hop fan?
Yeah, I am a hip hop fan. I think maybe so like the old school vibe. I can't really get into like the drill music. No offense. I think all music is beautiful, but I'm more like that old school vibe from like back in the day, the Tribe Called Quest, what is it, Run DMC, like the oldies. Just all the hip hop that kind of paved the way for the artists today. Uh, my one of my favorite is Most Def. I really like Most Def. And
Listening to-
yeah, yeah, he's great. I guess I like hip hop music that has a message and is really talking about the black experience and what black people go through and just kind of getting it's like poetry, to words.
Do you have any tips for actors that are trying to get into the business?
Yes, I do. I think just stay true to yourself. One thing with me, I'm really big on the independent side of the business. I just produced a independent pilot about colorism in Hollywood, and it's already won 7 awards in film festivals. And I feel like if you can be true to yourself, excuse me, about the message that you're trying to say, and you're in the business for a particular reason, not just for like fame and money, then you'll be okay with your success, even if it's not like blockbuster success or if it's just on small scale success. You just have to be true to yourself and your vision and what it is that you want to do in this industry. And so if you can really decide that before coming in, I think that'll be great because then you can kind of get lost along the way. And we've seen tragic stories of that happening, right? So
Yeah.
I think just being true to yourself, and just having the love for the art of acting, having the love for cinema, and the rest will carry you along the way.
So you just brought up um, your project Ugly.
Roll back. Get on in line. You in the back. You in the far back. Everybody else fall in. Far back.
Could you go into more about what that's about?
Absolutely. Chloe is really inspired by my own experiences as an actress in Hollywood and being a darker skin toned actress. And the opportunities aren't always there versus a lighter skin, or ethnically ambiguous looking girl that gets like bigger parts and stuff. And so, just the treatment that I would get on certain sets and music video sets and stuff like that. And it would really make me question my identity and feel bad about myself and feel ugly. I'm like, I feel ugly. It's icky. It's like an icky feeling. And so, I just decided to write a story about it so that I can like put it out there and see if other girls were going through the same thing and to open up a new conversation about colorism and um and just see how it affects the psyche and the psychological damages that it does to a black person. And so the character, she actually, she's trying to get a leading role, but she's always seems to be put in the back. And she's an awkward black girl, she skateboards and she's like into piercings and stuff like that. So she's a little different. But for some reason, she just can't seem to get that leading role because they're always putting, lighter skinned black girls in front of her. And so it just shows her journey and it talks about black women's identity and what does that mean in Hollywood? How do you form your identity when you have all these different things put in place that's stopping you? And so she basically has to find her way and understand that, what's on the outside, what people think of you, that shouldn't shape who you are. Be proud of your dark skin, be proud of your blackness, be proud of, yourself. And who cares if, you're not accepted, just make your own way. And that's a little biographical for myself because that's why I wanted to do the project because I wasn't going to wait for some to be accepted. I wanted to start and make my own way. And so that's how Ugly got started. So, because people were like ugly, then you think about it, you're like, okay, well, what does it mean to be ugly, right? What is beautiful? What is ugly? And so it's the ugliness of how, the industry could treat people who are different. It's the ugliness of how a person feels inside when they're discriminated against, and the ugliness of what people consider aesthetically ugly on the outside. So it's layers to that word. And I want people to think about
Right.
that.
You have
Yeah.
different levels to it.
Yes.
So do you feel those concerns still with the industry, with the darker skinned women and light skinned women is still prevalent? Because even Halle Berry, I was watching an interview with her and she said that she has issues in Hollywood and people wondering how does Halle have those issues and she's an Oscar winner. And she was saying she has the same issues because it's male dominated.
That's a great question. I think what Halle Berry is talking about is a great example how this issue is multi-layered, right? Because um, Halle Berry, she could be ethnically ambiguous looking. She's lighter skinned, she's mixed, and everything like that. So she's gotten opportunities that actresses that probably look like me wouldn't have been able to get. Yet she's still discriminated against in other ways like patriarchy or male dominated spaces. So um it's just hard for I think it's just hard for women in general, but then hard for just black women in general, even if you're light skinned, you're dark skinned. It's just but it also opens up conversations about like discrimination and just things that women go through in this industry. um Halle Berry, I could look at Halle Berry and say, God, I wish, I could have the same, opportunities as her. But then, she's like, I don't feel like the doors are opening up, for me. So it's like, wow, that's an interesting contrast.
Yeah, because
Yeah, guys.
she said that when she won the Oscar in 2002, I believe, she thought there would be other women after her, black women after her. She's like, it's 20 years later and it's like the same thing. So she said that's why she said to fix the problem, she went into directing behind the camera. So I know that you do that too. That you do.
Yeah, yeah. I directed my pilot series, and yeah, I actually saw the film that she directed. It was amazing, where she was a MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, I was so happy for her and I felt empowered, but I was like, yay, go Halle Berry. But yeah, absolutely. that is one way to take charge and just you know, start your own path, just don't wait. But
Yeah.
then, in reality of the situation, there are doors that are still closed. But I mean, with a positive outlook on it, we just, pound those doors down, direct our own films, write our own films, and, see what happens. I'm all about positive vibrations. So,
So for actors out there, could you give us 5 actors that you feel would be great to study so you can learn the craft at a high level?
absolutely. I think one would be Denzel Washington. Not because of his status, of course, but because he's just so natural. Um, when he's acting, it's like he's a good study. Also, Robert De Niro as well. And he also talked about the reason his acting is so good is because he's just when he's on there, he's just interacting. He's not overdoing anything. He's just like you and I are talking right now, that's a conversation. I'm not like, oh my God, I don't know what happened to you. It's like it's not over dramatic. So he's a great study to look at. Angela Bassett, she's a phenomenal actress. Also, I like Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce is very good. He's an actor that I've followed for a long time. I really like his work. Um, also, oh God, I cannot pronounce his name, and I feel really bad. But he just did the Black Panther one.
He was also in the movie about the Black Panthers.
Yes,
He played Fred Hampton.
yeah, he played Fred Hampton. Yes,
Yeah,
he's
really
like he's one of my all-time favorites.
acting.
Oh my God, I mean,
Really.
he is just born to do that. He's born to act. If a person wants to know how to act, put on one of his movies and just take notes. He's amazing. Yeah. So those are just some I can think of. I mean, there's so many, but I still think Halle Berry is a great actress. I think she's very versatile, and I like to watch her as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for watching Worldwide Entertainment TV. Don't forget to subscribe and watch more videos right here.